You guys, this was a juicy episode. I had to take a day to think about it so I can come talk to you. Let's chat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Red Lipstick Reality TV. I'm your host, Anna. We're back again, you guys. Welcome back, Red Lipstick Club. Hey, if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button, share the video, hit the like button. Help me get this video out to the Sister Wives sphere and all the OG fans out there that want to come talk Sister Wives with us, because we got some stuff to talk about. Also, shout out to my members, those that are thinking about becoming members. It's a great old time. I'm looking forward. I really want to do a live reaction, so I'm hoping I get a few people that want to do that, because that'll be a great time doing a live reaction so you guys can at least see it and you can kind of sync up with me. Either way, y'all, we're getting ready for Tell All Part 2. As you know, this is 4 parts. If you've been keeping track of what's been happening in Sister Wives land, they brought people back after the Tell All to film some other scenes. There is a scene in here that is filmed after the Tell All. So I'm curious if they're going to have like one full episode of some more interviews that happened after the Tell All in response to the Tell All, or what they're going to do, you guys. Because this is, remember, a 4-part as opposed to the general 3-part that we get. So that's going to be interesting to see. But segment 1, I thought, first off, I did think this was the significantly better episode than last episode, but there were also parts that I completely checked out on, and I'm sure you did as well. It didn't really matter, but we did get some other really good parts that made up for those extra things that they just threw in there to fill time. Segment 1, you guys, is, I really called it Janelle Really Wanted Mary's Man. And listen, y'all, it's not that I don't like Janelle and Kristen. I do, but I cannot put them on a pedestal, because as stuff is starting to come out and we're hearing how Cody was communicating with them, how he got together with these women, how everything began in this family is just looking more and more suspicious to me. And I'm really side-eyeing Janelle a lot. And hearing about Cody and Janelle's sexual relationship, like, gross to that. But when you think about it, I'm like, was Janelle coming for Mary's man at the beginning? Like, was she just attracted to him and wanted to hook up with him and then hid it under polygamy? And Cody keeps talking about how she asked to be in the family. And I'm like, but isn't that how it's supposed to go in polygamy? Like, you're not supposed to be actively seeking out wives, right? It's supposed to be your wife that makes connections with other women, and then that woman decides and she gets to choose her husband. That's the whole thing. But he's kind of throwing it back in people's faces like he did them a favor, that they asked to be part of the family. I'm like, but isn't that how the religion's supposed to go? It's just weird that he does that. I wish he would stop doing that, especially because you have 6 children with this woman. You also have 6 children with Christine, and you keep trying to make it out to seem as though these women were desperate. Why you would want to do that on national television, knowing that your children could see this one day, I will never understand. And I wish he would just stop. Just stop doing that, Cody. It's gross. Stop doing it. Cody keeps trying to like reel Janelle back in, you guys, in some way. Like kind of the same way he did Mary with these false hopes of reconciliation. The difference is that Mary was interested and desperate, and Janelle is not. So his manipulation of saying, hey, I think there's hopes we can reconcile, really just to keep their money around, isn't working on Janelle, because Janelle knows this man has no interest of having a real relationship with her. He's made absolutely no effort to show that he even cared about her or that he even loved her. So why would she reconcile with him? And, you know, like I said, Mary was just desperate enough to stick around without him putting forth any effort. Janelle is not desperate. So I don't know what Cody's talking about, but I'm just like, whatever manipulation tactics you think you're going to try are just not going to work on Janelle. Try it again. And I think Janelle said it really well here, where she was basically like, he likes the idea of the family. His ego likes the idea of the family. He promised Robin this plural family, but he has really no desire to truly love these women. And I think that's a perfect way of saying it. He might like the idea of the family. He might like, his ego might like it. He might have promised this to Robin to keep Robin, but at the end of the day, he has no desire to put enough effort to manage and maintain these relationships. And also, this is the point too where Janelle brings up that it felt like he was putting her in a position where she felt like she constantly had to earn her relationship. And you know what's funny with that, you guys, is that all three of the OG wives had that feeling. They all felt like they had to go above and beyond to prove themselves to Cody, to earn his affection, to earn his love. And you can tell that he's basically dangled that over their heads from the beginning. And God, he's selfish. It's like, it's sad to hear it back because it's like, man, he had to have been selfish this whole time, but was there ever a time when he wasn't like this? Like, did these women really go through 15, 20 plus years of marriage to this guy and he was dangling affection over their head like a trinket? I couldn't imagine being married to someone that long, and they were just so dismissive of my feelings and my needs as a wife. I'm just like, Lord, y'all. So yeah, I thought that was sad, but really stood out to me, even with Mary saying that it didn't matter how hard she tried it didn't matter. And she was incredibly loyal to a fault. And he gave her absolutely nothing. And then she says, what stood out to me in this episode is Mary says that she used to tell him things. And I'm wondering, was she telling him things about Christine or from Christine, or that Christine had said, or maybe that Janelle had said in confidence to try to get into Cody's good graces, and it ended up backfiring on her. And not only did she lose any trust that maybe she could have potentially had with Janelle or Christine, but Cody didn't reward her with a relationship either, because now she's deemed to be not loyal to her sister wives either. I just find it funny. I almost feel like he was testing her to see how much information she would tell him, and she fell for it. And I could see that's one of the reasons why Christine's like, I don't trust her, because if she was running her mouth to Cody, as you said, telling him things, what were you telling him, Mary? The only thing that you could tell him that would have been of value to him is some type of ammunition when it came to his other wives. And if they found out that you did that, I could see why they would not trust you as far as they could throw you. And I doubt you would do anything to jeopardize how Robin felt about you. So I doubt you were telling him anything regarding Robin. That was not positive. That's just my assumption. You guys tell me what you think in the comments below. Anyway, y'all, here we go. First WTF moment of the episode right here.
I told her I loved her, and I chose to love her. And I chose to be romantic. She thinks I was madly head over heels over her. And
this man said, I told her I loved her. I chose to love her, and she thought I was head over heels for her. Basically, it was all an act. According to Cody, this man is rewriting history, y'all. This man spent years, decades telling us that he was in love with Cody. I guess had Robin bamboozled too, because she thought they were in love too. Had apparently Christine snowed and Janelle snowed, because all of them seem to have the same sentiment about how he felt about Mary when they first got together. So I find it quite interesting that he's rewriting history now and basically making it out as though she was some desperate puppy chasing after him. And he was never in love with her. He was never head over heels in love with her. He faked through all of this. And it's starting to seem to me that this man was so focused on having some type of high level position within this church that he was willing to marry his way to the top and did not care who got hurt in the process. And these women are thinking this man actually loves them because he's a narcissist and manipulative. And yes, I'm going to say that, and I don't care if he wasn't diagnosed. This is just my opinion. Opinion does not mean it's fact, but at the end of the day, we see what we see, okay? He has all the behaviors, consistently has the behaviors of someone that is suffering from extreme level of narcissism. For you to spend that much time faking with somebody, according to you, that is very scary. I don't know if anybody else thought that was scary to them, but the dismissive nature in which he talked about how he got with Mary, that was so scary to me, y'all. And if I was her, there's no way I'd want to be with him. So basically, you're telling me this man was on national TV claiming he loved all these women and laid down and had 13 children with these women. At the end of the day, to say he did not love not near one of them. Okay. That's what we're dealing with now watching this show. And I'm like, man, like, you know, when Christine first left him, you guys, at first we were cheering, right? We were like, yes, girl. But watching how this man is trying to tear these women down limb from limb because he's desperate. It is like, and I really love my channel, you guys. I like talking about sister wives, but watching this dude episode after episode, I'm just like, is this, just bring David on at this point. Show me a man that is not like this on this show. Just please, for love of God, show me a different man. Oh my goodness. All right, y'all, moving on. Segment 2. Just throw Mary in the barndominium is what we're going to call this segment. We're still talking about Mary moving this business. I don't care. You all don't care. The fact that she also tries to like go backwards and say, oh, his behavior was automatically pushing me to move my business. I already wanted to move it. And I'm like, what? Mary, you did not want to. You were going back and forth about it over and over again. You didn't want to move it. You were kind of trying to use it to dangle in front of Cody as a bargaining chip. So they're two very manipulative people. I'm starting to see a lot more of her manipulative ways as we're watching this episode. There's going to be points where I'm going to be on her side. And there's going to be some points where I'm like, Mary, you're tripping. Either way, we still don't care about her moving. She knew what his reaction would be. We all knew what his reaction would be. We all know he doesn't care. So why are you dragging this breakup along? And why are you dragging Robin into it? I almost feel like you're trying to sabotage their marriage too, because, you know, every single time she goes to bat for you, it's causing friction in her own marriage. And why are we doing that? You know, I feel like Cody, even though he's a jerk, you guys, he's basically said all over national television that he has no interest in Mary. He's done with Mary, and he's done so now for a few seasons. So for Mary to just be playing boo-boo the fool about it and acting like she doesn't know what's going on, it's just insanity to me. It's like a level of delusion that I have never seen before. It's like, Mary, he's done. He's done. I wish she would just stop asking Robin to fight for her. She said that she asked Robin years ago, you know, if she, like, you know, will you help fight for me or whatever. Excuse me. But I think it was pretty clear even years ago that Cody did not have the same commitment or value in the commitment that Mary had, and really felt no allegiance personally to her years ago. And we're going to find out how he showed that. This man had already stopped being loyal to her and committed to her years ago. She just didn't want to say it was true. She just didn't want to admit that this man was done with her years ago. And then this is also where Robin says that he considers Mary. And I'm like, what does consider mean? It's like, consider putting her above the barnuminium. Is that what he's considering? Well, thank you. It's like a man is not going to work hard to reconcile broken marriages if he can just go down the street to a wife where he has no issues, no concerns, no problems with. And I feel like that's what Robin is not understanding and not taking ownership of. Is, unfortunately, because my relationship with Cody was actually one where he loved me and it was positive, it gave him no reason to reconcile relationships that were already slightly broken. It didn't give him reason. In fact, the marriage to Robin, the reason why that marriage broke up the other marriages is because he was able to go there where there was no baggage. There was no baggage of polygamy in her marriage. And there was all the baggage of years of abuse through polygamy in the other marriages. And he didn't have it in him to reconcile that. Like most people in this situation, you're going to take the easy, laziest way out and go with the marriage that takes the least amount of work. That's not rocket science. Pretty sure anybody can figure that out. Janelle does say that Robin would advocate for Mary, but she basically says, well, I don't know why you would put yourself in that position. If I was Robin, you know, for better or for worse, I would not have been in that situation. It puts you in the middle of stuff you shouldn't be in the middle of. And I kind of wondered too when I heard that, is I'm wondering if Janelle has ever advocated for the marriages of the other wives. Outside of just saying like a group thought about it, where like, okay, he has the capacity to love other people. But I'm wondering, have you guys ever seen an episode where you've clearly seen Janelle say, hey, I told Cody you need to fix this with this wife, or you need to work on this with this wife, or because she's saying that multiple times he came to her with grievances about these wives. So in those moments where he's telling her all his business about the other marriages, is she just saying, hey, that's not my business or whatever? Or is she telling him, you need to work on those marriages? You need to invest in those marriages. If you don't, it's our marriage won't be healthy because we're sister wives and they all need to be healthy. I don't know. I'm curious, you guys. I don't recall ever really hearing her say that. We've heard Robin say that quite frequently, and not to say that it was always in the best. She was doing it for, not for her just self-preservation, but I'm wondering, was there really times where Janelle actually advocated for her wives and their marriages? I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm not saying that she didn't. I just don't really recall a time that was clearly something she spoke to. So if you can find, if you know an episode of that, I'd really like to be able to point that out. I'd like to pull all the times where there was just, you know, them working together to build up each other's marriages. I don't know. I'm curious. Let me know. All right, everybody, segment 3's up. I'm calling this Robin Speaks Cody. Apparently. Y'all, the fact that Mary couldn't like grow a pair and have a conversation with Cody on her own, and having to use Robin for a buffer constantly, it just tells me that marriage was way long over. Move on. When Robin's saying that Cody just speaks his mind, I'm like, Robin, he's a thoughtless jerk. That's what it is. It's not that he just speaks his mind. He's actually thoughtless and has no empathy. So you're making excuses for his poor behavior by trying to reconfigure what he's saying and put it in different terms. No, he didn't say it in the terms you're saying. When you hear Robin always say like, well, is that what you meant? I think what you meant to say. No, Robin, he didn't mean to say that. He said exactly what he meant because that's the person that he is. So it's not that you speak Cody. It's that you are you're stopping him from being held accountable for the things that he says. You're giving him an out and an excuse. And you also use this I speak Cody jimmer jammer as a manipulation tactic. And that's what we're going to put in here. WTF moment number 2 right now.
It's like, I speak Cody. She says that to my children. Why don't you come over? Like in the past, she said, why don't you have a conversation with your dad? I'll be there because, you know, I speak Cody. Mm-hmm. And my kids are like, it's our dad. We don't really need you to speak Cody. It does bug me. That one does bug me.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, this is now these are moments when I love Janelle because I wanted to be like, okay, Janelle, speak the words. She's like, I have been with this man for who knows how long. I'm pretty sure that we're okay. I think we were fine before you got here. And you trying to tell my kids that you speak Cody, so they need to come and have a conversation with him while you're there, as if they weren't with that man prior to you, because all those kids were born before you were married to him, Robin. That's their dad. They know their dad. They don't need you. They seemed completely fine with him before you came around. So why all of a sudden now do they need you as a middleman? You're using this as a manipulation tactic. At some point, Cody has to be held accountable for the things that come out of his mouth. And his family was going to do that. And you're stopping them from holding him accountable for the things that he says. When you try to play this I speak Cody game, where all you do is take his words and then turn it into something else, instead of letting his words stand on their own. As Janelle said, he's a grown man. He can speak for himself. He's saying exactly what he means. Stop making excuses for his behavior. Just stop. I also love to, where basically Robin's trying to like manage and manipulate the relationships that Cody has with all of his children. Not just Janelle's, but with Christine's as well. And that whole I speak Cody is just a way to manipulate all the different relationships. And when Mary talks about how he speaks, this is an example of him being incredibly thoughtless and non-empathetic when he tells her, hey, I'm just going to put you in the barndominium, and he thinks he's doing her a favor. And in fact, it's incredibly insulting. Christina even says, this is so insulting for you to say it to this woman that stuck around, waited it out, held out hope for you, only for you to say, I don't even really care about you. I'm going to put you out to pasture with the stuff I don't care about, with the garbage. And that just says, this is why, Robin, you cannot step in and recreate what this man is saying. Let him say what he is saying, because that's how he feels. And people need to hear how this man really does not care. When you try to gloss over what he's saying, you're creating fake empathy for him. He doesn't have that. Stop creating fake empathy for him. Here we go, y'all. WTF moment number 3. It's a back-to-back. Let's go. Here we go.
he had told me that he did not want me to have claim on him. He didn't think that it was fair that I had claim on him. And so his way of doing that was to melt down the wedding ring. That was a symbol. That was a sign.
Woo! It's the ring scene, y'all. This scene right here was worth it. Y'all, Christine said this man took the wedding ring that Mary gave him and melted this ring down to be used for whatever he felt like using it for at some point, as his response to not wanting Mary to have ownership or control over him. That, my friend, should have been the moment that Mary walked out the door. That should have been, Mary should not have stayed one more day. And she should have taken her child with her. And I would have served him with child support payments. And I would have kept them moving because guess what? I had the legal marriage. So there, that's what I would have done. I would have walked right on out of there. Now I'll tell you this, Christine runs her mouth too much. And honestly, because I think she's moved on, she kind of forgets that some of this stuff is, you know, for some of this women is a lot more surface level as far as pain, and those wounds are a lot more surface level, and you can't really dismiss it with like a little giggle when you're giving a story that's as impactful as this one, because it kind of took my breath away when she actually said the story. And so the way she kind of flippantly said it did not make me happy either. And just like she said, it's not really my place to tell, then you shouldn't have told it. Or if you were going to tell it, Christine, you should have given it a lot more respect than what you did. And I just think that you were incredibly flippant about something that I feel like any person in their right mind would have been completely devastated upon. And especially if they had not been the one to actually tell their own stories surrounding it. It was the ring Mary gave him. It wasn't the ring you gave him. So I did not like how Christine handled that. And I feel like Mary has every single right to be upset about that. And she did not hold back. I'm glad that she said her name. Like, she didn't just talk around it. She said, Christine, you're laughing and giggling about it. I said, okay, Mary, you actually earned that, because that was not her place to tell. But I'll tell you guys this. I'm glad she said something. I'm glad she said something, because hearing how evil this man was to Mary, I mean, a lot of her decision-making is making a lot of sense right now. And it's really sad. And then here comes Robin trying to distance herself from the shenanigans, talking about, oh, this happened way before me. Just because he didn't have a ring on when you were around him doesn't mean that this happened way before you. He probably had just stopped wearing that ring because he was already having issues with Mary. But based off the timeline, Mary said, no, he didn't burn that ring till he started dating you. He didn't melt that thing down until he started marrying you. And he didn't tell her that he didn't want her to have he didn't tell her the whole ownership thing until then. Mary asked for the ring back, and he says, well, no, I melted it down already. He didn't even care. He just didn't even care, y'all. Oh, Lord. That was just so sad. I want to know, tell me what you guys thought in the comments below when you heard that story about that ring. And if it was you and the person you were married to took the ring that you picked out for them that was a symbol of your marriage, melted it down, and told you after the fact of what they did because they didn't want you to have ownership of them. Tell me what y'all would have done in the comments. Actually, if you can tell me in emojis, because that's kind of funny. Tell me in emojis what you would have done in that scenario. Because, baby, woo, I would have been out the door so quick, y'all. I'd have been, oh my God, I would have been out the door so quick. It just blew me away. Segment 4, y'all. I called it, I don't care about Mary and Cody's marriage anymore, and that's how I felt. I'm sorry, guys. This part of the episode was really worthless to me. I don't really care. Mary, you knew this relationship was over. Just, at this point, have some dignity about it, and this is kind of just beyond commitment for me at this point. It's just, you're delusional. It's Delulu at this point. I feel like you're using faith as an excuse for these really poor decisions that you're making, and I just feel like it's kind of beyond that. I feel like he broke commitments, like I said, years ago, years prior to you still holding on. And I just don't understand why. And I also don't need to see this picnic scene again. And I guess they wanted to sit down and talk to Mary about it, but what are we talking about here? We're beating a dead horse. You're not telling us any new information. We knew this man didn't want to be with her for years. And now you're saying, okay, well, finally Mary accepted it. We as the audience accepted this years ago that he didn't want her. I don't have time to catch up with Mary. We already knew, girl, that he was done with you. Moving on, segment 5 ended it off, you guys. Cody told everyone about Mary. Mary just talks about basically the false hope he gave her. And said that she would no longer be silent, you guys. We'll see if she's no longer going to be silent. We'll see how much tea she's about to really spill, if she's really going to be honest. And, you know, Janelle's saying that Cody would constantly tell her about how he wasn't going to be with Mary, and how she said that, well, that wouldn't be right if he didn't tell her. And that's another thing where I'm like, Janelle, well, why wouldn't you ask him that? Why wouldn't you say, instead of you telling me, Cody, did you speak to Mary about this? Don't tell me about you and Mary. Don't tell me any more about that, because that's unfair. But you let him go carry on and on to you about how he didn't want to be with Mary. Why did you let him do that? Wasn't that supposed to be a rule, you guys, in your marriages, that you wouldn't do that? I don't know. Thought that was kind of interesting. I see why Mary says she has no friends in that family, because, baby, you know, you be right. You be accurate. It doesn't seem like you did. Here, all right, y'all. That was the end of the episode. Next tell-all reviews. Are we still sister wives? They're going to talk about Cody leaving Robin to ruin another woman's life. Apparently, he's going to talk about showing his jealousy, y'all, around Christine. This man is so jealous of her. I'm like, David has yet to say that you're a good man, Cody, from what we've seen. I have never seen David acknowledge anything about you being a good man. And honestly, you're the furthest from a good man that I've ever seen. So I don't know why you feel who you are and how you've been is going to impact what David does. David's a grown man, and he's really not worried about you. I don't know, you guys. That was it. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. Red Lipstick Club, you're the real MVPs. Hey, smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't already, join the club, join the fam. We have a really good time over here. And I'm going to be doing some lives this week. I'm going to do a rewatch this week. So I have a few videos we're going to be putting out. So we'll have some fun. We're back on track. Until next time, y'all. Bye.